We then meet with after we've gone through discovery and done our interviews and so on, we meet with our forensic toxicologist. He's the former head of the LA Sheriff's Crime Lab, retired. We love retired cops and techs. And I understand you're not going to have one in your firm, but you can certainly consult with one. And if you can't find one or it's too expensive, you might consider either commercial labs or, for expert witnesses generally, consider your local colleges, the faculties. I talked about some of the things like partition ratio that you need to educate yourself on. You can do it. It's not all that difficult, but it does take some effort. Non-specific analysis, very important. What do we mean by non-specific analysis? It means the Intoxilyzer 5000, which you use in this state, does not measure alcohol. It's that simple. Big shock. Let the jury know, hey, this machine they're using does not measure alcohol. It measures the methyl group in a chemical compound. Any chemical compound that contains the methyl group will be reported as alcohol. So, how many compounds, next question is, are there that have the methyl group? A few thousand. Well, let's get realistic. How many can be found in the human body on the human breath? 2, 3? Studies show about 200. If you're a diabetic, you're going to have acetone. If you're on a crash diet, you're going to have acetone, possibly acetaldehyde. Okay. If you've been pumping gasoline, you've inhaled gasoline fumes, if you've been in a room painting, if you've been using glue, hopefully for building a model airplane, any of these things, paint thinner, all these industrial solvent, not only can you breathe it in, but you can absorb it through your skin. And, interestingly, the half-life varies and can be very long, meaning you could have been painting a room yesterday and you are breathing out the methyl group compound today. And what does the machine do? It adds up all of the compounds in your body and adds them together, cumulative, and reports it as alcohol, along with any real alcohol in your system. Now, they say they have interferent detectors available. That's hogwash. They got a thing that doesn't work terribly well, which is supposed to detect acetone and acetaldehyde. It doesn't do it effectively. It's supposed to be calibrated. It can only be calibrated at the manufacturers, and I know of no law enforcement agency that sends these things back for calibration. Mouth alcohol, tremendous source for defense. Basically, it means the alcohol the machine is reading is not coming from the lungs, it's coming from the mouth. Remember the 2100 ratio? It presumes that the alcohol has been through the stomach, through the intestines, out into the blood, gone through the lungs, and been breathed out, and attenuated by a factor of 2100. If there's alcohol in the mouth, for whatever reason, that machine's going to multiply it 2100 times. So you're going to have a tiny amount of alcohol in the mouth will have a hugely disproportionate effect on the machine. So how's it get in the mouth? Breath freshener. Oh, there's a cop in the rearview mirror. Okay. Mouthwash, dentures, periodontal disease. Most common is burping and belching, and this is why your officers are supposed to wait 15 to 20 minutes before giving a breath test to observe the person, and we both know they don't, but they're supposed to. It's because of burping and belching, because the gases from the stomach, which alcohol has not gone into the body yet, are coming out through the mouth. We've had a lot of success in the last few years with GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, acid reflux. Okay. It's a condition that is very prevalent in the American population. It's basically a herniation of the hiatal valve, and it opens the esophagus to gases from the stomach. So if you've had alcohol, the alcohol is constantly going into your esophagus, into your mouth, into the machine. Usually you'll need a doctor, the internist, your client's internist, to testify to the condition. Retrograde extrapolation is a highly inaccurate process of trying to guess backwards from the point of the test to the point of driving. And again, everything depends on average man. Average man burns off 0.015% or 0.02%, depending on which expert you're listening to. And they use something called the Widmark factor, which is about 100 years old, and other things that all rely on the average person. Now, the second great strength is that you hold the high ground. You fight an unpopular but a just war. And what do I mean by that? I mean, first of all, you seek the truth. Now, that may sound strange, and I'm not saying your client is innocent and you're trying to seek to show that he is innocent. I mean, you are seeking the truth in the evidence that's being presented. Now, this is a little different than your usual job, isn't it? I mean, when you're defending somebody for burglary or rape or murder, whatever, what's your job? Most of the time, your job is to blow smoke. You know, create reasonable doubt. That's your job. In the DUI case, that's not what your job is. Your job is to expose the false science, to expose the defective machines, to expose the incompetent police officer, to expose the field sobriety test for what they in truth are, to show that your client is not the average person. Your job is to find truth and give it to the jury. It is not to blow smoke.